is going to talk about that house plant pest scale, which I hate.
Everybody hates that.
Oh, it's like icky. Or it is for me anyway. There you go, Liz. Your own.
Oops.
Need to unmute.
Yeah.
No, sorry, my mouse wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So one of my favorite things of getting these kind of bugs is I love one of the ways of fixing it, which is using a Q-tip with alcohol. For some reason, I get great pleasure killing them. But anyway, scale is basically an insect, and there's many different pictures of them because there's so many different colors, shapes, and sizes. The ones that you'll see on your plants in the house are usually small rounded lumps on your leaves and your stems. And there's two types of scales. There's the hard scales, and you normally see those outside on outside plants, but you can also see them on your orchids. But typically you would see the soft scales on your house plants. And it's basically an insect that sucks stuff out, and it produces what we call a honeydew, which is sort of a syrupy substance that's on it. And there can also be a kind of mold that looks sooty, like from a fire. So if you have a low infestation, you can, if you just see a couple of them, you can scrape them off or peel them off. There's also commercial products that you can buy for scale. There's insecticidal soaps, there's an oil spray, and almost everywhere that you see this kind of stuff, it's really important to read the label, because you could kill your plant if you do too much or if you do it improperly. So it's really important to look at the label. It's really helpful if the label has the plant that you're using and the insect that you're using as well. And then, like I said, my favorite, you can also make your own homemade one, usually with a pure soap, like a Castile soap works really well. But if you don't have a lot of them, you can use alcohol on the end of a here, I can't even talk. Swab, thank you. And you just want to be sure that when you do that, that you twist it and you get the bug with the shell underneath it. And my slide is being blocked. Okay, here it goes. And if you have a high infestation, and a lot of times you might see that more outside, but you could see it inside. If you can cut off any of the infected leaves and branches, or throw out the plant, which, I know a lot of people don't want to do that, but sometimes the infestation is so bad, it's not worth the time and effort that it takes to get rid of it. I had a different bug on my orchids. My sister gave me an orchid for Christmas, and it had mealybugs. And to me, they're a little similar to this, but anyway, I cleaned it all up with alcohol. I thought I did a really good job. It kept coming back because I obviously didn't get all of it. I finally threw that plant away after a year. I mean, I just spent so much time, and I'm sure if that happens again, I'm just going to throw away the plant, because it just was so much time and effort to do that, because I wasn't going to be able to find all of the, the little babies that were in there. So anyway, anyone have any questions? Oh, I can see not everybody's favorite bug.
I hate them, actually.
I'm just thinking I have to go inspect all my orchids now.
Well, it's funny. I've not seen scale on my orchids, and I probably have at least 12 of them, but I've never seen it on my orchids. So I didn't know that before I did a little research on this. So I was kind of surprised to hear that. It makes me want to go look at mine too.
I have never had it inside, but I have some camellias outside that has that cottony camellia scale. And I'm constantly either spraying them with oil, wiping them with alcohol, spraying them with neem oil. I don't think it ever goes away.
Yeah, it's a hard one once it gets started.
We even I had one, it was a very random kind of thing. We had, I have a maple tree out front, and it had scale. And Then I started noticing the scale actually got on my painted wood substances on my house
Mhm,
around the front door. I could literally scrape them off. It was the
Mhm.
weirdest thing. I didn't
mhm,
realize they would, there was nothing living in the paint.
mhm,
They did attach to the paint on my house. So I was glad when we got rid of them on the maple tree.
Yeah.
Other questions on scale?
I just wanted, it's Jamie, I just wanted to say that I had some ewes out by my front door. And I worked when we could work at the farmers markets, at the actual real plant clinic.
Yes.
I was with a master gardener who said, what I do every year in February is I spray these outdoor plants that are susceptible. And I bought that sprayer. We had well, maybe, I don't know if it was this, my garden club. It was some kind of a special sprayer that really misted everything. It was really good. And I sprayed those ewes in February, like this fellow master gardener suggested. And I've never had a problem since then. I only have done it one season, so I'm gonna do it now every season.
What did you spray them with, Jamie?
I had some insecticidal soap. I don't know what kind, but that's what I did, and it said it worked for scale, because I think scale it's important. I think it has so many forms, you know, when it goes from one stage to another. And so it's really important to spray it with, I think, the right type of, you know, insecticidal spray or whatever you're going to use on it at the right time. It's really important to get it at the right life cycle. And I think temperature has a lot to do with that. So things are a bit out of whack, you know, with the rising temperature. But that worked really well, and I'm going to do it again at the end of the month. But this sprayer was long, and it really put out a nice, very fine mist. And I was able to do it on the top and all around. So I didn't have any last year at all because of that.
I know with the armored scale, you need to, if you spray early with with like the horticultural oil, you do have to watch the temperature. And I think it's like 50 degrees, but it's on the bottle.
Yeah.
That the temperatures have to be above that in order to use it. So like my camellias, I will spray them with horticultural oil, but not now, not until I kind of have a few days at 50 degrees or better.
Right.
Then
I did it at the end of February.
Yes, February, March, sometime in that time frame. The other thing is when, particularly the armored or hard scales, they will have what they call crawlers, where they actually come out of their scale, and every one of them is different. You have to kind of know what kind you've got so that you can decide, look up and find out approximately when their crawlers appear. And then you can use definitely insecticidal soap, because that's the hard scales protect them from that normally. So like I said, I usually use the horticultural oil, and then if I realize it's time for their crawlers,